Hello Kenai, and greetings from Washington, D.C., and thank you for the opportunity to say a few words at the annual Kenai Peninsula Economic Development Forum. By the way, I was just on the Kenai Peninsula 2 weeks ago. Boy, oh boy, the can-do attitude of the Kenai is very strong. I went around with my very shy regional director. You guys know Elena Spraker. Hopefully Elena's there. I'm sure she is. She's very shy. She's kind of a wallflower. That's just a joke. She does a great job for me in the Kenai Peninsula, but we went everywhere. The Boys and Girls Club, they got a new development there on the Kenai. The Soldotna Field House. Holy cow, that was just incredible. Bistro Flats, great restaurant, wonderful evening there. The Central Peninsula General Hospital, one of the best run hospitals in all the state. Homeless shelter, I mean, there's just so much going on in terms of positive spirit, can-do spirit on the Kenai. I feel it every time I'm there, and I try to get there a lot. So thank you. So many people who make the Kenai so special are at this forum today. So let me start with, I think, what's really good news. This was the bad news. Some of you guys saw me with this the last 4 years. This was the Biden administration's last frontier lockup. 70 executive orders and executive actions shutting down our state exclusively and singularly focused on Alaska. I told President Biden this was wrong. It was unfair to target a state and the working families of one state so much. But the good news is this stuff is now over, right? I really like ripping this document up. It's over. Bye-bye. And the good news is we have a new document. And this was the day one executive order that I asked President Trump and his team to put forward on unleashing Alaska's extraordinary resource potential. We're the only state in the country that has our own executive order during the Trump administration, and it's really, really focused on getting rid of the 70 EOs from Biden to crush us, and this is to lift us up. And what I've told people, whether you like that guy or don't like that guy, you voted for him or you didn't vote for him, this is a really good document for us. It talks about all different parts of the state, talks about unleashing our economy, talks about unleashing our energy sector, critical minerals, fisheries, you name it. And really, really importantly, it talks about moving out for federal agencies. If we're going to get things done in Alaska, they got to move. So I'm encouraging everybody to read this, take a look at it, because whatever you're working on in Alaska, I guarantee you this is written so broadly that there's something in it for you. Now, what's in it for the Kenai? I would say a lot, because one of the areas that this focuses on a lot, it says it is the policy of the United States to get the Alaska LNG project over the goal line, permitted and done. This document really, really highlights this. Another handout. I like a lot of handouts. So make sure Elena has handouts when she's there. This is the gas line chart that I gave to President Trump right after his election, saying, Mr. President, we got this opportunity to get this done. Well, ends up we've been pushing on an open door with this administration because President Trump and his administration are really, really focused on the gas line. This will be great for Alaska, great for every community, but I'll tell you this, for the Kenai Peninsula, this is going to be really, really important. You may have seen this, the president in his first meeting with the Japanese Prime Minister really pressed this project. Then in their press conference, he highlighted it. In his State of the Union last month, the president highlighted the AKLNG project as something that's really, really important. And now that you're seeing the president and his team, I actually just talked to the president about this yesterday. Most of his cabinet, I spoke to a number of them yesterday. When they're doing these tariff deals, you know, they're trying to get the Japanese or the Koreans or the Taiwanese to lower their tariffs. What they've been saying is, hey, we're not just going to have you lower your tariffs. We want you to buy Alaska LNG. The president Actually said that to the Korean president just yesterday. The Secretary of the Treasury is saying this to the Japanese. So we have a strong support in terms of the administration on getting this project done. Are we there yet? No. But I'll tell you this, I gave my speech to the Alaska legislature last month, and I challenged them. I said, hey, look, you know, there's naysayers out there, maybe some in this audience, but let me ask the naysayers, what's the alternative? Than to put our shoulder into this more than ever, because we have an administration that wants to get it done, and I'm seeing the alignment. What's the alternative? The alternative is importing gas into the Kenai Peninsula from Mexico. Count me out on that one. I think that's a really dumb idea. So I'm going to continue as your senator to put everything I got into this project. And to be honest, if you think the president wrote this executive order and highlighted the AKLNG project and is meeting with the Japanese, with the Koreans, and the State of the Union, this is us. This is the governor and I working with the president directly with the White House saying, you got to make this happen. It will be great for Alaska, great for our military, but also really good for our allies. This is one of the most important construction projects we can get done in America, and it's right in our backyard, so it's exciting. So we'll all continue to work together on this. And for you naysayers, I know there's not any on the Kenai, but who write in the Anchorage Daily News, hey, we'll never get there, yeah, whatever. Good luck. We'll import Mexican gas, and that's not a good future for us. So I'm optimistic, though. Fish. We all want sustainable fisheries. The Kenai is one of the most world-famous places on the planet for incredible fishing. I am very, very focused on sustainable fisheries. Some of you are familiar with my legislation that created the Alaska Salmon Research Task Force Act. It's bringing the best minds that we have in Alaska, state, federal, local, tribal, university, indigenous, saying, why are some of our salmon runs doing great? Think about the Bristol Bay sockeye salmon runs. Why are some of the other runs, the iconic runs, Yukon, Kuskokwim King, Kenai King, not doing so well? What is happening? This brings the best minds that we have in our state to try to get to what we all want, healthy, sustainable fisheries, healthy, sustainable salmon runs, and we're going to keep working on that. The other thing we're going to keep working on, which is a challenge, is housing. Every community in Alaska, every community is seeing housing shortages. This, of course, chokes off economic development. It chokes off jobs. It makes it more difficult to live affordably in our state. So we are going to continue to focus on this. I have legislation that would create higher brackets for the low-income housing tax credit program, which is a really good way to build out our housing stock, to increase that cap so that those kind of houses can go to middle-class Alaskans, firemen, teachers, nurses, electricians. So stay tuned on that. I'm very, very focused on addressing housing. Finally, as you all know, it's a dangerous world. We got a lot going on in our own area of responsibility, as we call it in the military, Russian and Chinese joint naval task forces, Russian and Chinese joint strategic bomber task forces. And as your senator, I continue to remain very focused on building up our military. We are doing that, and we are building up our Coast Guard. You're going to see more of that happening this year. I've been highlighting a whole host of things like opening a naval base in Adak on the Aleutian Island chain because of the aggressiveness of these adversaries of ours, and getting a much bigger Coast Guard in Alaska, on the Kenai, down on the Seward, in terms of the fast response cutters. So there's a lot going on in terms of building up our military. And then the service industry, shipbuilding, companies like JAG and others on the Kenai Peninsula doing services of these major ships. It's an exciting time. So our military is going to grow, and that'll mean our veteran population will grow as well. We've got more veterans per capita than any state in the country. I am every day focused on taking care of these great Americans, and I know that the communities on the Kenai are as well. So A lot happening. In my view, a lot of optimism because we have a federal government now that wants to partner in opportunity with us, not try to crush us. And that is so important. And I know that all of you agree with that. So have a great conference. I love being on the Kenai. I'll be down there again soon.